are talking vines. I love vines. I love vines from a landscape design perspective because honestly, they don't take up a lot of room. It's super easy if you've got a really small space. You can grow a vine in a space that literally is 8 to 10 inches wide. You can also get a lot of privacy out of a vine too. And again, when you've got a small space, whether it's in the garden, whether it's on the balcony, the front yard, whatever, vines are suited for just about everywhere. So you've got annual vines, and that's the mandevillas that we've got out front, the red ones. So those are fantastic. They're beautiful in the summer season. These ones have grown about 3 feet in the last few weeks, but they are tropical, so they need to come inside over winter, or you treat them like an annual. For those of us with a space in the ground, then we can use some woody vines or some hardy vines. And when we're talking about that, what we actually mean is these vines produce bark cells, like a shrub or like a tree. And when we think about that, there's two different ways that vines actually attach themselves onto something and climb. So one is with the tendril, and let's take a look here. This one is an Engelmann ivy, but the tendril is this, oh hello little ant. The tendril is this structure here. So this happens at a leaf node, and a leaf node is where the leaf joins onto the stem, right? So we see a leaf on one side and we see the tendril on the other. Just like peas, beans, and morning glories, these are the things that actually wrap themselves around a stick or a string or a post, and that's what literally the vine uses to do that pull-up. If they're not using tendril, they're actually creating something called an aerial root. And aerial roots, like on this climbing hydrangea, get formed down here on the bark cells. We can see one just starting. It's just starting. It's really immature, but they're starting here, and we're also starting to see a few pop up in here. And an aerial root is something that would actually, think of it like a sucker, right? It grabs onto the wooden fence or the concrete post and it holds itself up. So it does not need a trellis or it does not need a string to support it. So it's what we call a self-supporting vine. When we think about vines for hardy varieties, there's all kinds of options. Some of our favorites, we've got the climbing hydrangea. This one of my favorites because this is actually grown, right? We grew this like 100 feet that way, so it's totally local. But climbing hydrangeas flower in the summertime, so usually mid to late July, early August. Flowers white, and this will grow in full sun to full shade. The Engelmann's ivy that we looked at a little while ago will also grow full sun to full shade, but this one's going to stay green for most of the season, and then it turns a blood red in the fall. Beautiful. Also gets a black berry, but that berry sits up under the leaf. So it's really, really pretty when all the leaves fall off. You get some extra interest. This other one is called a Star Showers Virginia Creeper. And we love this because look at the variegation on this, right? So you get some greens, you get some whites, and some yellows. It too will go from full sun to full shade, but in an area where it's really shady and really dark, then we expect it to go lime green. It needs at least part shade. It needs half a day of sun really in order to keep the variegation proper. You can also get edible vines, so whether you're using a grape or like this one, which is a hardy kiwi. These are fantastic because they do produce an edible kiwi. But in order to get that fruit, you need both a male and a female plant, right? Little bit different and just something to keep in mind. The queen of the vines really is the clematis, and clematis are available either in a bush form like this one. So we're looking at a plant that's going to get roughly about the size of a basketball, or you can get a vine form like these guys back here, or these gals back here, I should say. We're going to do a separate section on this, but one of the things to keep in mind with clematis is they like full sun, they like part sun. You know what? They're a little different. They like the root shaded, so it's a good thing to mulch, or even just put them behind a rock or have an annual planted in front of them. They like the root shaded, and they like the tops, their heads, really, really warm. But they love and need at least part to full sun all day, so 6 to 8 hours plus. So hopefully that helps. We'll come back and we'll talk clematis in a little bit. Bye-bye.